We are literally Birdland Orioles fans, Fleck Zone family. We are literally 1 week away from pitchers and catchers reporting to Sarasota, Florida. That's right. The groundhog did see a shadow. He's calling for 6 weeks of winter, but we're calling for Orioles baseball, as we do know within the next 7 days, the 2025 season begins with spring training. God's favorite host. Good to see you again, Birdland, Orioles fans, Flex Zone family. I think it's time we do some Orioles content. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell. Let me know what you're thinking about for the season. Leave a comment. It helps us out tremendously in the algorithm. And I want to hear from you. Leave your favorite emoji, thoughts on the team. Are they good? Are they bad? Can they finally win a World Series for the first time since 1983? We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it is a Flex Zone, God's favorite host, Orioles content coming your way right now. Will the Baltimore Orioles make a move before the start of spring training? That's why we're here today. And is a major trade on the horizon? Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you're new. We do Orioles content 24/7, 365, and it ramps up throughout the season. Pre-game shows, post-game shows, shorts of each game, just about news, reaction, trades, rumors. We do it all. So make sure if you're ready for baseball and you're ready for the Flex Zone, subscribe. But enough about that. We're here. We are literally a week away from Mike Elias talking to the media for the first time in Sarasota. He was at the Birdland Caravan. But unfortunately, if you know anything about the Orioles, you keep up with what has happened the last 2 years going into spring training when they get to Sarasota. It's always a somber beginning. There are always sound bites that we hear, columns that are wrote, things that are said on social media through the people that cover the team and do a great job at it, that we hear that the Baltimore Orioles, through GM Mike Elias, have injury issues. Last year, Kyle Bradish, Tyler Wells, and we're hearing that they were dealing with this since January. Then this year, coming into it, you got Jorge Mateo. Apparently, Felix Batista needs to be ramped up. I think 2 years ago there was news. So each time we get to Sarasota, and I'm expecting it again next week, I'll report on it when it comes out. Mike Elias to give not so positive injury updates on some guys. If we get anything from Bradish and Wells, which I'll talk about in my previews coming up to you next week, I'm sure it's a plus. But obviously, this team has needs, and that's why I'm doing this video today, because the Orioles just keep signing outfielders. Yesterday, I'm sure you heard the news. Ramon Laureano, 1 year, $4 million. And when you give a guy $4 million, that sounds like to me you intend for him to be a part of this ball club. Now, crazy enough, $4 million is a drop in the bucket to these teams, these owners, and baseball. But I'd take $4 million for 1 year, wouldn't you? I'd sign up for that. Now, Ramon Laureano, $4 million deal. It is a team option for 2026. He's 30 years old. 259, 11 home runs, 33 RBIs. But I think this signing is about defense. He has a cannon arm. He may have the best arm in the organization. He can throw it from just about anywhere. He makes highlight reel defensive plays. And we know one thing about Michael Elias, we know about these Orioles in the past few years. They love and value defense, especially up the middle and in the outfield. They want guys that have athleticism, have speed, have range, have the ability to get outfield assists. We see it from Cedric Mullins, who is going into a contract year, which we'll talk about. Colton Cowser, runner-up rookie of the year. He has a big arm out there. This team, after this year, they're going to have a lot of money freed up. So a lot of one-year team option deals you're hearing. Obviously, they lose Santander. I did predict they would lose both Burns and Santander. Unfortunately, they did. You kind of wonder why if they're going to bring in all of these guys, because not only do you lose Santander, you get Tyler O'Neill, you got Dylan Carson, you add Laureano, you have Daz Cameron back in the organization. We want to see what we get from Kerstad. We want to see what we get from Mayo. There are not enough positions. There are only 3 outfield positions at a time. And clearly, you sign a guy like this, you clearly think he's going to be a part of your team. You got Kerstad, you got Mayo. Are the Orioles lining up to make a major trade? Are they lining up to make a major deal? And the only reason I say that is because you can only play with 3 outfielders. Obviously, we know about injuries. You want to have depth. Mike Elias loves having a deep bench. So does Brandon Hyde. They like to manipulate the lineup, bring guys in, bring guys out. As I mentioned, Mateo will probably, in my opinion, not start the season with the team. I think he will be on the IL, DL, whichever you want to call it. And I think the people that would be traded in this situation, it has to come down to two people that you're probably starting a conversation with. You're dangling Heston Kjerstad and Colby Mayo. I'd be more willing to part with Colby Mayo over Heston Kjerstad. I think if you give Heston Kjerstad 400 at bats, I think he could have an OPS over 850. He might can hit you 20 bombs and play decent defense. Is he great? No, but when you hit the ball towards him, he's not rumbling, bumbling, or fumbling. He catches the ball. It doesn't have to be pretty, long as it is caught in the glove. Just like with a basketball shooter, doesn't have to be pretty, long as it goes in. A swing at baseball doesn't have to be pretty, long as he hits the ball where he needs to, where the defense ain't. That's what's the important part here. Now, we heard about Luis Castillo, former All-Star with Seattle. They have a plethora of pitching options. I said, okay, yeah, if we go get Castillo, that'll be cool, but that would just add another number 2 caliber starter. I mean, is he better than Grayson? Is he better than Eflin? They're kind of all similar type pitchers. So then that would just give you 3 number 2s. You got Sagano. Do we know we're going to get from him from Japan? No. Do we know we're going to get from Dean Kramer? We'll get some ups, some downs, and some mediocrity. And that's kind of what Dean Kramer is. He's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. I love him. I think he's a good 4 or 5. He's been consistent the last 2 seasons, even with some injuries and some slow starts. Kind of circle back to that game in Atlanta 2 years ago where he kind of found himself and saved his career. Having Dean Kramer is a position of luxury at a 4 or 5. But how would you guys feel about a trade? Now, we're hearing that Dylan Cease teams are still pushing for him, even though him and the Padres are having discussions. This is the last year of his deal. I don't want another rental. As I mentioned, a lot of money coming off the books this offseason coming. Obviously, we have a whole season, 162 and more playoffs potentially ahead of us. But could you see Kjerstad? Could you see maybe Mayo traded for? I'd like to go get Bryce Miller from Seattle. He's a young guy. He's a controllable guy. Throws hard. Has not been injured. Has had progression in his first 2 full seasons at the major league level. Obviously, pitching in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, coming to Baltimore with Baltimore. How will that work? Pitching in the AL East, pitching in a tougher division. I like Bryce Miller. If I can get a young, controllable guy, I'm giving up Kjerstad and Mayo, and I'm maybe even throwing in. Maybe do you throw in? Maybe I don't want to lose Kramer, but do you maybe dangle a Kramer? You don't want to give up something to lose something, but they may want another arm in return. But maybe you give them a Kramer, maybe Kjerstad and Mayo. That's 2 top 5 prospects in the organization plus a starter that can come in and go for you now. Now, like I said, I'm probably starting a conversation with Kjerstad, Mayo, and I'm seeing what I can get. Obviously, I don't want to go Dylan Cease. He's a great pitcher, but I'm not dangling or playing the roulette game of 1 year and seeing what we have. We saw with Corbin Burns. We knew he would leave. He did. And I think the same would happen with Dylan Cease. Would New York not swoop in and pay him? Would the Dodgers not swoop in and pay him? With the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, they practically are giving money away. I wish they would offer me some, and no one wants to take it. The only person that's taking it was Anthony Santander. They did also sign a reliever that the Warriors were talking to, but the injuries kind of came up there. I actually think the strength of this team is the bullpen, like it was 2 years ago, which I think they can use, like we've seen with teams in the past, the Guardians last year, other teams, even the Dodgers and the Padres use their bullpens very, very well, had a lot of depth that can get them through tough playoff series. Now, I'm hoping, like I said, Castillo's off the table. I'm cool with that. But who out there? I want to hear from you guys in the chat, in the comment section. Who?
Go Google it.
I might try to
go Google it.
I might try to go get a Bryce Miller. I may try to go get. I don't really know who is out there. Like I said, Castillo is currently off the table. There was links. Let me see if I can find the. Let me see what the Pirates did have a couple guys. Let me go to that real quick. They have obviously could have got like Mitch Keller be an option. I think he was linked to the Orioles from Pittsburgh. We know Pittsburgh, they don't know what they want to do. They have the best pitcher in baseball, the best pitcher maybe since Strasburg coming up prospect-wise, and they don't want to put the piece around him to win. They got Adam Frazier back. But Mitch Keller, he was 11 and 12 last year, 31 games. He had hit the polls, 178 innings. And I don't know. I mean, his best season, he really hasn't knocked your socks off. 1-1 and yeah, 19. His best season, he was 13-9. And the year before he was 5-12, 2021, 5-11. So maybe he's more of a middle of the road 9-10 win guy, but he's also going to lose 10 or 11. He's basically another Dean Kramer. He's another 4 or 5. So, like I mentioned, I don't know what we're going to get from Sagano. We're hoping maybe a 4 at best. And Kramer, I'm kind of liking what I see from Kramer, maybe more than Keller. He's only 28, still has, like I said, some years of controllability. Now, I'm not giving up Mayo or Kerstead for Keller. He seems like a middle of the road pitcher. I thought he was a little bit better, but it's not a lot of attractive offers options out there through trading. You're going to have to give up something to get something. So I think the conversation starts at a minimum of Kerstead and Mayo. It sucks that Kowser didn't win Rookie of the Year because we know they love to trade those draft picks. But I'm expecting some injury news. I'm expecting guys not to be ready fully when we get to spring training. And obviously, throughout spring training, it's a grind. You got a whole another month before you start playing games, really a month and a half. So could we hear more injuries come out there? Last year, the Corbin Burns trade wasn't until February 1st. So there are some guys that could possibly be available. Let me see. Let me see what free agents are left. And let me see. Let's see what we got here. We got as far as who is left. I mean, like I said, I don't know. Let's see, free agent wise. Do we have anybody available that is worth me trying to go get? Doesn't look like it. I'm searching the interweb. I'm Googling it. I don't know who is left. We got, let's see, looking at the top 25 here, and we can play along at home. We can do this together. Who is available out there? I starting at the bottom, we got Ty France. No. Joe Kelly. He's an often injured 36-year-old. No. Quantrill, no. 8-11. Matt Moore, no. Um, yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. Anthony Rizzo, Justin Turner, Kyle Gibson. Could we do a reuniting with Kyle Gibson? We wouldn't have to give up anything. He was 8-8 last year, so I guess it looks like we got rid of him a year early. So good move there. Moving up through 15, Kendall Graveman. He's coming off an injury as well. He was a reliever, so maybe not there. Looking at the remaining pitchers, David Robertson, he's going to turn 40, reliever. I don't see anybody out there really. Quintana, he was 10-10. Do we go get him, put him in the back of the rotation to fill out this roster? He was 10-10. He's getting 2 years, $16 million. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't move the needle for me. It doesn't do anything more than it has before. Andrew Haney is available. He was terrible last year, but he get 21 million. He pitches a lot of innings, but he doesn't win a lot. So I think I'd pass on that. Nick Pivetta. Um, I don't know. He was 6-12. And then again, 4 for 60. No, I'm good. Pete Alonso still there and Alex Bregman as well. So not a lot of moves that knock your socks off. I mean, you still got Scherzer available. So what is going to happen there? I don't know. He is still a free agent. I think Verlander did sign, or is he a free agent? He went to the Giants. Verlander went to the Giants. So could Scherzer be available still? I don't know. I'm just throwing things at the wall, trying to hope something sticks. I'm not very hopeful that they will make a major trade. If they make a move, it probably won't be anything to knock my socks off. And you consider what he's putting in their place, I'd kind of rather see what you have in Kerstad, kind of what you have in Mayo, than signing these journeymen to 1-year deals with team options, or these guys who hit sub 250 and 10 to 15 home runs. And yeah, they might play good defense, but what the problem with the team last year was the offense down the stretch in the playoffs. They couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. They couldn't hit in a timely fashion. They could not hit runs outside of a home run here and there. So with that being said, I want to see Kerstad get an opportunity. Like I said, I may be more willing to part with Mayo, but he really doesn't have much of a trade value. Your last magic bean that you may have is indeed Kerstad. And honestly, at this point, I know people want to make a major move. I don't really see it out there realistically. Anything could happen. We've seen Luka Doncic traded from the Mavericks to the Lakers, but I don't know. I don't have much the most confidence. And I think what they want to do is obviously with the money put up for next year. We talked about lift off. I'm expecting they have spent more money this year. Let's not lie. They spent more money this year. I cannot offer options or transactions, but nevertheless, they spent more money. I think next year, 2025, that is where we're going to really have to judge Rubenstein, Elias, and others. I think this year they're still, not to get too much into my predictions, they are still a playoff caliber team. As much as I've been down on them, what they've done this offseason, I do kind of like what they've done. I forgot about Charlie Morton because I think he will be a factor. Will he stay healthy like he's been doing? I don't know. The Orioles don't have the most prestigious luck with that, as do a lot of teams with these arm injuries. But if you throw Charlie Morton, Dean Kramer, Sagano, Eflin Rodriguez, maybe you get Wells and Bradish back. We'll see. But are the Orioles on the brink of a massive trade? Sound off below. We want to hear from you in the comment section. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Would you maybe take a flyer on Scherzer? We're giving out 1 year deals. Maybe go give Scherzer 1 year. See what he can do. You brought in Charlie Morton. Verlander got signed by the Giants. It is what it is. Orioles content throughout the year. Heading into the season. It's going to ramp up. You guys know I bring it to you like nobody else. Nobody's on YouTube covering the Orioles like I am. Show me some love. Give me a like. It costs you nothing. In a world where everything going up, where tariffs are through the roof, where people are unsure about their professional and personal futures as far as where they're going to live, the Flex Zone is here no matter what. I want you guys to subscribe if you're new. Swing for the fences. Make sure you leave us a like button. It helps us out tremendously, and it costs you nothing. Like I said, hit the bell and let you know when all of our content drops, and you'll be the first to check it out. Leave your favorite emoji. Leave your thoughts on the season. What do you think the Orioles need to do? Do they need to make a massive trade? Yes, but for who? Maybe you keep Kjerstad. Maybe you go get Scherzer. Spring training is a week away. We'll hear from Elias next week. You'll start to see position previews. You'll start to see position breakdowns. You'll start to see previews for the upcoming season and what I think this team could be for the next 162. God's favorite host. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see what the Orioles do as we are a week away from Mike Elias speaking to the media, players and catchers reporting, pitchers and catchers reporting, and yours truly, God's favorite host, reporting for duty for another Orioles season. Hopefully, one that ends better than the last two where they couldn't even win a singular playoff game, swept by the eventual world champions in the Texas Rangers and losing to the Kansas City Royals. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace. I'll see you with more Orioles content. Those position previews will be coming your way real soon. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for watching.